The War to End All Wars. My name is Selena Laval, and I am in Miss McDonald's grade 12 English class. In The Wars by Timothy Findley, many literary devices are used throughout the novel. The two that I will be focusing on are psychological literary criticism, looking at Robert Ross and his mother, and poetry, mainly imagery and symbolism. I will also analyze the reason for the title being The Wars as opposed to The War. Robert Ross's character arc is eerily similar to that of the psychiatrist in The Dragon by Catherine Gouvier. To start out, both men are utterly confused by women. Robert Ross, instructed to fight a man by Heather Lawson because he was supposedly in love with her, is shy around girls and distrusts them because he does not understand how they work. The psychiatrist, cruelly rejected by a woman that he met at 18, avoided the subject with his patients because he may know how the human mind works, but certainly not the female mind. Both men make a living taking care of the needs of others and put those needs before their own. Robert Ross took this path by becoming a soldier, and the other a psychiatrist. This desire to care for others on an extreme level is demonstrated in The Wars on page 116 when he saves a rat that had been trapped because of the waterlogged conditions of the trenches. It reads, "He caught the rat by the tail and it squealed as he lifted it over the edge to let it free." But Robert wonders afterwards if setting it free had actually been a favor or if he was sending it to its death. For both characters, selfless behavior comes at a cost, as they are so busy helping others that they have bottled up their fears and anger in a metaphorical shoebox, as recommended in the Men in Black short story by Colby Buzzell, until finally it is released in a violent way. Robert Ross, who at the beginning of the story we are told is a pacifist, as well as a guardian to his older sister Rowena, later shoots two men between the eyes. This behavior can be rationalized as it is a war, but these were men on his side, and while the first man, Captain Leather, was killed because Robert wanted to save the horses, the second, Private Cassilis, we are given no indication that this behavior is justified. This pent-up stress is released by the psychiatrist when he closed his hands on the woman's hair and pulled out masses of it like dry moss, and thick threads appeared around her forehead running down her temples. Mrs. Ross's behavior is rather cold at times, but I also get the sense that she longs to have a meaningful and intimate relationship with her family. Freud's view of the human mind is like an iceberg and can be divided into three sections: the conscious mind, preconscious, and the unconscious. It is Mrs. Ross's unconscious mind that blocks her from having the relationship that she so clearly desires with her family. Between her brother being killed in a trolley car accident and a disabled daughter, her ego locked away her heart, causing her to become cold and distant. There are various situations in the novel that show her desperately trying to reach out to her family, but the pain that is locked in her unconscious does not allow her to connect in the way that she would like to. The imagery and symbolism in this novel is consistent throughout. The horses, symbolizing Robert's hope, play a very strong role in developing his character throughout the novel. His father tells him stories of horses when he is in bed with jaundice. He also gives him the wisdom to trust your horse's footing above your own. Robert takes pleasure in looking after the horses while at the barracks and on the boats. However, the first time that Robert has to shoot anything, it is one of his horses. This was a very traumatic event for him, because no matter how hard he tried at first, the horse just would not die, and he had to continue to shoot this beautiful creature that he loved so much. The birds in this novel are a very mysterious thing. Robert hears a bird just after killing a German, when they are stuck in the mud, just after he is saved from drowning, and various other occasions throughout the novel. They are both an omen and a warning. The white rabbit that Rowena is described holding at the beginning of the story symbolizes the purity that she holds. Rowena is a source of hope and drive for Robert. He had been her guardian ever since he realized that she could not leave her chair. He fought a man to try and protect her rabbits, and he burnt her photograph when he felt that he was at too low a point for her to see him. So lastly, why is the book called The Wars and not The War? I believe this is the case because of how many battles are being fought at once in the story. Robert fights a literal war, as well as many internal conflicts. Mrs. Ross is fighting a battle to connect with her family. Rowena is fighting against her illness, and many more conflicts can be seen throughout the novel. Overall, the book is a well-written and immersive novel that contains many more secrets and storylines as you continue to delve deeper and deeper into the pages.